March is Women's History Month, and I like to play around with those words a little bit and ask women, did you make history this month? Where are you with accomplishing your goals for this year? If you haven't established any goals, bye Felicia, I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to the sister or brother who stepped into this year on purpose, ready to expand while others contract. My calling is to women who desire to build new businesses, expand current businesses, increase their income streams and investments, and create other conditions of blissful living. Highly motivated and performance-driven women like yourself often gravitate to business coaching and financial management advice, self-help books, and webinars about living your dreams. I'm the same way, wanting to stay trained up and prayed up for the great things God has in store for me. However, sometimes what we need isn't more business and financial advice. Honestly, most of us know what needs to be done, but we're struggling to move fiercely in the right direction for one reason or another. We think that the next free webinar will provide the money-making secrets we've been waiting to hear. And what we eventually hear is what we already known after being serial entrepreneurs for so long. There aren't too many secrets yet to be unearthed by women in business. I mean, we are living in the information age, or should I say free information age. And I'm proud of you for investing in yourself, whether it costs you something or not. Everything has a price though, because time isn't free. Time is highly valuable. You will never get more than your allotted amount of time, which is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's all you get. And if you waste any of it, you won't get it back. It's gone. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Where did the time go? Because your time is valuable, and let me just make that clear, I don't want you to waste it focusing on shiny, new, beautiful distractions. Often those distractions are the professed secrets of the rich and famous that will, from what they claim, make you equally rich and famous if you invest in their premium or VIP package. Perhaps the gossiper in us loves information labeled a secret. You know, being in on a secret makes us feel special and exclusive, like we've been permitted to enter the VIP lounge where all the celebrities hang out. I mean, who doesn't want to be in the in crowd sharing the same space with awesome influencers, even if it's just on Zoom call or live Facebook broadcasts? What you've probably discovered but don't really want to admit is that how to fulfill your dreams really isn't a mystery held in the palm of someone else's hands. Living your dreams is just not your normal life yet. So you might be gravitating to influencers professing to possess the secret to your success. However, your path has not been paved yet. God wouldn't be so cruel to put your cards in someone else's hands and leave you with nothing to play with. But as long as you think the answers to your happiness are out there somewhere in the world, you will continue to make other people rich and build their legacies for them while claiming to be investing in yourself. If you keep shopping for prosperity secrets like you shop for shoes and tropical vacations, you won't have enough time nor enough money to fulfill your dreams. We need to become a lot more strategic in how we use our time and hard-earned money and reevaluate how we've been assessing the results of our efforts. The lifestyles we desire are absolutely possible to achieve if we leverage our time and money to yield maximum results and use the right criteria to evaluate those results. You can begin to see impressive outcomes in less than 1 year by truly investing in yourself. If you're ready to get started building a blissful future, stay tuned to today's Danielle Inspires. I'm a certified master life coach, and what separates my practice from most is that my business model is to co-create positive outcomes with my clients. I don't sell a service. I create sustainable value. The theory I have proven time and time again is that the secrets to your success are locked away inside of you. Therefore, my practice focuses on cultivating your greatness and drawing the best out of you. It might seem easier to chase down the secrets of others, but it is more costly and less effective in the long run. In the short run, chasing behind trailblazers feels exhilarating until you realize that you are just keeping them company while they live their best lives. I want you to get busy living your best life. It's great to learn from the journeys of others, but I wholeheartedly recommend learning from their journey while being totally committed and engaged in your own journey of unlocking your potential and unearthing your success secrets. My coaching sessions involve deep diving into the secrets locked away inside of your subconscious. The answers you are looking for are in your subconscious mind. You can think of your subconscious mind as the unseen part of your life. It's the part of you living behind the scenes, below the surface, like the roots of a tree. Unseen, but vital. Your conscious mind is above the surface, deliberately influencing the life you desire to live right now. I utilize specific coaching techniques to elevate my clients' lifestyles by helping them channel their subconscious, unlived lives to the surface of their consciousness. It's like drawing the living waters out of a deep well. As the scripture said, from his innermost being will flow rivers of living water. From your innermost being, your innermost being has the answers to your questions and the solutions to your challenges. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. Genius is inside of you like rivers of living water. The power to produce wealth is inside of you, in the subconscious part of you. That power is linked to your destiny and a call of God upon your life. My power to create wealth is unique to me. And yes, it can help you, but it won't do for you what God has already placed inside of you. For that reason, my genius compels me to connect with people like you to create atmospheres in which your greatness wants to show up and prevail against all odds. The real you will show up in coaching sessions with me while we engage in courageous conversations that unearth your authentic voice and reveal your divine self. I want you to live in your genius all the time, and that takes practice. Practice yields progress over time. Most people are stuck in a pattern of standing in the brilliant light of others instead of shining wherever they go. And I'm not happy to have people consistently stand in my light and never have the boldness to light their own way. Let's check out Matthew 5:15, which states, "Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house." How much brighter would your household be? How much brighter would the world be if everyone released the light inside of them? How much brighter would your corner of the world be when your subconscious mind starts to illuminate your consciousness? Let's find out. You owe it to yourself to impact your life and the world with your hidden success secrets. We should really dig in and unearth your magic. I really want to see, and you should really want to see, who you were meant to be. So before we go any further, I want to invite you into a courageous coaching conversation with me to experience the value I can create for you. This session won't cost you anything but time. And judge for yourself whether the value will carry you through, let's say, to the end of this year. Pause the video and shoot me an email requesting a free 1-hour coaching session, and I will take care of everything for you. You have nothing to lose, but so much to gain through this wonderful action of putting yourself first. We're on a cusp of the second quarter of calendar year 2021. So set yourself up for success right now by shooting me an email, and I'll be here when you return. Welcome back. I will respond to your email in the next 48 hours. So we still have time to dive in a little deeper into your voice, your power. Today, let's work on developing a mindset of acknowledging, defining, and amplifying your voice. This topic really boils down to valuing your power to manifest greatness. I want you to take yourself seriously by acknowledging, defining, and amplifying your voice. The trick of the enemy is to silence you at a young age so that you grow up thinking others will be greater contributors to your life than you ever will be. The enemy's plan is for you to grow up subconsciously thinking that the greatest value in life exists outside of you, which sets most people on a path of searching outwardly instead of inwardly. They much rather invest in a lottery ticket than themselves. They rather snuggle up in the bed with a leech than try to find wholeness in being single. They'll work diligently to put on the airs of success, then cut up those credit cards and get on a repayment plan. You can call people like this desperate, thirsty wannabes, but in reality, they want to feel significant, loved, and special. They want what you and I want, yet they don't know they embody exactly what they're seeking. And they won't find their true heart's desire until they take the spotlight off of others and put it on themselves. We were born into this world innately aware of our dependency on others. As babies, we cried out for assistance because we couldn't do anything for ourselves. Those were humbling times. When we became more mobile, enjoying certain freedoms, we still had to ask for assistance and ask permission to explore things that interest us. In time, we became increasingly mobile, but our parents and other adults still controlled our movements. Because dependency does not inspire a sense of one's own power, adults have the responsibility to help children feel special, loved, important, and powerful. I believe we have fallen short in this area. And kids are growing up not feeling special, not feeling loved, not feeling important, and not feeling powerful. What I've just described is a poverty mindset, which is when you embody a sense of lack and you model your life after a consumer trying to reach outwardly to add value to herself, instead of modeling your life after a producer who creates value for herself and others. The outer packaging of a baby is fragile, but what God placed on the inside of every soul screams power. Our voice is our power. And even as infants, we use that power to express our needs. No, we didn't know words, but we had some powerful lungs and vocal cords capable of transmitting sound. We could giggle, coo, and cry, and our parents carefully listened for our raised voices. And if we weren't lying down for a nap or bedtime, they gave us ample face time to let us know we are special and important. Ah, those were the good old days. Where did they go? Now, I know somewhere along the line, parents and other adults in the lives of children turned left. I know they turned left because their adult children are my clients. I know from my own life that what began as an empowering adult-child relationship turned disempowering, and I went silent. Recently, I watched an Instagram post from Brown Girls Do Ballet, and out of the blue, it stirred up remembrance of a situation I have never thought about in my adult life. It was a pleasant memory on the surface that suddenly turned left and pointed to a time when I learned to disregard, obscure, and silence my voice. When I was young, like 3 or 4 years old, my grandmother paid for and escorted my older sister Yvette to ballet classes. I remember being very excited for my sister. In my young mind, it made sense for every young girl to be a ballerina because it epitomized beauty and femininity. And I saw it as a girl's only chance to look like a princess. Pink tutus twirling around and around, giggling and having a grand time are what I observed while sitting on the cold wooden floor of the dance studio watching my sister perform pliés, relevés, and sautés. I appreciated the grace and elegance of ballet, even in the young amateurish feet performing the moves. I relished everything about the privilege of being in a ballet class, down to the cute pink carrying case my grandmother purchased for my sister's shoes and leotard. I was so happy for her, but in the back of my mind, I didn't understand why I wasn't given the same opportunity my sister enjoyed and why I was being forced to tag along and watch her live every little girl's dream of feeling beautiful and special. In hindsight, it would have been better to allow me to stay at home and play with my toys than I would have been ignorant to what I was missing out on. It seemed crueler to dangle a dream before me and then to hand it to my sister. Being raised in a kids should be seen and not heard culture meant my feelings and opinions didn't matter. So why bother exploring my emotions and expressing my opinions? Instead, I had no choice and no voice in the matter. So I celebrated my older sister, swallowed my feelings, smiled politely, and sat in silence on the cold, hard floor of the dance studio. Now that I'm an adult, I have the emotional intelligence to know how my actions could make someone I love feel excluded. My grandmother loved me. She loved all her grandbabies dearly, but she had some favorites she took to ballet classes and sewing classes and the ones she slipped money to regularly. All kids should be favored, not above others or in spite of others, but because each life is special. To positively influence the self-image of a child, you must introduce them to themselves. And part of that process involves prompting them to share their thoughts and feelings about any topic with you. Every adult in one way or another influences the lives of children they come in contact with. Children are that impressionable. If you walk into a room where a child is and you don't speak to the child, your actions are saying, "You are invisible to me." There are many motivational speakers in the marketplace trying to help the little girl or little boy in us not feel invisible anymore. You might be struggling with the feelings of inadequacy or feelings of being unloved, feelings of being small and insignificant. And you probably have no idea why you feel the way you feel. You probably don't know why you constantly need someone to tell you how great and powerful you truly are. Of course, I don't know the details of your childhood, but what I know is that your childhood is the root of your adulthood. The little girl or little boy in you is at the root of your successes and failures. For some of you, that's an "oh damn, I'm in trouble" moment because your childhood sucked and was less than ideal. Raise your hand if you're sure. Hopefully, y'all know me well enough to know that I'm not about blame. Blame is disempowering and an excuse to be lazy. We are imperfect people. We love imperfectly, but we can improve. If you pursue personal growth, you won't screw your children up as badly as your parents screwed you up. It's past time for generational healing to take place. And I think we should begin with you. I mean, since you're here, why not endeavor to be made whole? You're an adult now, and you have a child in you who needs you. She might feel voiceless and powerless because you've treated your childhood as water under the bridge, when in reality, it's the root of your present existence. I mean, you can continue to ignore it and never truly transform your life for the better. You can take this journey of self-discovery with me and be made whole. As a child, I didn't acknowledge how I felt about being denied the opportunity to enroll in ballet class. But out of the blue, watching that Instagram post, who I am now gave voice to the little girl within, and I heard her grievance. I feel and acknowledge her pain and disappointment. And as an adult, I choose to make amends for how the failures of others negatively impacted my life. My father, for example, failed to protect my sister and me by allowing an adult male family member to sleep in a room with us behind closed doors. My sister and I were molested as a result of his failure to protect us. And as adults, I have the responsibility to give voice to what I could not express as a child to my attacker and my father, both of whom are now deceased. Nevertheless, my root is damaged and time hasn't healed it. Being a Christian hasn't healed it. Self-help books haven't healed it. The healing I've received thus far has only come from lending an adult voice to my childhood trauma, walking through the process of forgiveness, and taking some form of action to remedy the wrong. I have walked others successfully through this process, and I use it on myself with huge results. I remember sharing the love of Jesus with this young college student, and she confessed to me that she was harboring unforgiveness towards her mother. So I prayed for her and then asked her whether she, had experienced any sensations while I was praying. She said it felt like someone had removed a sword from her back. Unforgiveness is crazy that way because it inflicts the person who was done wrong. and chooses not to forgive. On another occasion, I had a client who got permanently released from her job after missing months of work due to a shoulder injury. She was in a car accident and her body was slowly healing, yet there was no improvement in the pain and mobility in her shoulders. She could raise her arms like to here, and the pain was consistent. So I prayed for her a few times that night, but the pain did not go away. We continued to talk about various issues while I just kind of silently prayed to God, asking him why my prayers didn't avail much. I heard one word: unforgiveness. Heeding the leading of the Holy Spirit, I asked my client if there was anyone she needed to forgive. She said yes, so I asked her to give voice to the pain and extend forgiveness. First on her list was her live-in boyfriend who had wronged her. Second on the list was her father, and she continued to mention like 5 people in total. So once she was done, I asked her if she was still experiencing any pain in her shoulders. So she raised her arms high in the air. She's like circling them around, and she was like, I don't have any pain. And there was no limitations in her mobility. So unforgiveness is like a tangible, disabling presence in our lives that we can get rid of by just forgiving. At least 2 or 3 times a year, I sit before God and I ask him to reveal anyone I'm holding a grudge against. Often those grudges are buried from my conscious mind, yet God is faithful to bring them to the surface when I ask him to, and he'll do the same for you. So in one of my forgiveness sessions, God brought someone to mind whom I thought I had forgiven. But when he asked me to forgive this person, I flat out said, no, I won't forgive him. Now, I was shocked at my response because I willfully said no to God, and I verbally shouted, no, I will not forgive him, after I confessed to forgive him last year. I was a little baffled by this contradiction, but my initial defiance made me realize that forgiveness is a process. It's not a one and done. It can take time to be totally freed from the trauma and the grudge. There are depths to forgiveness, and God was asking me to go a little deeper. Finally, I relented and forgave from my heart, but I know there's more work to be done. My approach for healing and repairing the root of your life, which is your childhood, involves first lending an adult voice to your childhood trauma, walking through the process of forgiveness, and taking some form of action to remedy the wrong. The wrong could be the trauma inflicted by others or the trauma inflicted by your grudge, or both. Righting the wrong can take on many forms. To right the wrong of the whole ballerina thing, I signed up for a membership to Masterclass and enrolled in the Misty Copeland class. If you don't know who Misty Copeland is, you are in for a treat. Take a look.
Two surprising things to know about Misty Copeland, who's a soloist at the prestigious American Ballet Theater. First, her day in this supposedly dainty, genteel world is phenomenally rigorous.
There are professional athletes who probably couldn't handle your day.
Yeah, it takes more strength than a lot of athletes put in.
The second surprise, how she rose to the top of this elite art form.
I had no real direction, no real motivation to become anything.
Copeland led an itinerant, impoverished childhood in the Los Angeles area, along with her siblings and single mom.
We were pretty much homeless and were living in a motel, trying to scrape up enough money just to go to the corner store and get like cup of noodle soup to eat. It was probably just the worst time in my childhood when ballet found me.
More specifically, ballet teacher Cindy Bradley, who discovered Misty at age 13 at this Boys and Girls Club.
Having someone believe in me is why I think I dove into it.
Incredibly, just 4 years after her first class, Misty was accepted by one of the top ballet companies in the world. But she would then face an even larger struggle.
I can't believe she's back. Of course she's back.
No, not Black Swan style scheming, but instead something more subtle.
How often do you run across African American or other minority ballerinas?
When it comes to classical ballet, you just don't see it.
In classical ballet, elite ballerinas are virtually always white.
People don't want to break this tradition of what they think the ideal image is of a ballerina.
For a decade, Copeland was the only black ballerina at ABT, and still today there are none at the highest level, the position of principal ballerina, Copeland's fervent dream.
Here we are in America with a black president, and this little world is so tough to crack.
It's really hard. The classical ballet world is so far behind.
Have you ever encountered overt racism?
Not so much myself, but to hear from a 7-year-old African-American girl being told that, maybe you shouldn't be in this ballet class because you won't have a career.
She is hoping to change that with a new ABT program to recruit diverse students.
I watched Sunday Spotlight on Misty Copeland in tears, and there was just like this big lump in my throat. I could hear the young black girl in her wanting to find her magic, and she has. And now I get to sit at her feet and learn from the best in the world. Honestly, I had no idea what attracted me to her master class until I saw that Instagram post and those old childhood feelings surfaced in my adult consciousness. I'm in this master class to right a wrong. Maybe I'll buy a tiara and a tutu as well. Who knows? Whatever it takes to heal, I'm committed to the process. How about you? I'm going to extend an invitation to you to talk with me one-on-one about the ways your childhood are possibly impacting your successes and failures. Allow reaching out to me to be the first step towards giving an adult voice to your inner child. You can reach me by email, and you'll hear back from me within 48 hours. I'll completely handle setting up our one-on-one chat, and it won't cost you anything. Helping others acknowledge and define their voice empowers my own voice and sense of significance. As we close out Women's History Month together, remember to make your own history. Be bold, be great, and be inspired. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me today on Danielle Inspires. If you haven't done so already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the alert bell so that you are aware of new content as it is being released. I'd love to hear from you as we take this journey together. Give me a shout out in chat and join me here next week for more inspiration to fuel your transformation on Danielle Inspires.